study. So, last few weeks we have been discussing from the second part of seventh canto, wherein Narada Muni is describing the Varnashrama Dharma. Till now, taking the example of Prahlad Maharaj, he talked about pure devotional service. And then in the beginning, he talked about mixed devotional service, mixed with little karma, jnana, or yoga, how to practice that to attain the highest perfection. And then, what kind of varnashrama duties one should practice by which one can attain the perfection. Matlab, that will help one to attain perfection. So, varnashrama duties will help one to practice their respective sadhana, whether it is bhakti or jnana yoga or ashtanga yoga or karma yoga in a proper way. So, now, the varnashrama system that will help one to come back to Godhead is being described. In that, first he talks about the four varnas, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, and then one after the other, the four ashramas. First he talked about Brahmachari, then he talked about Vanaprastha, then he talked about Sannyasi, and we have seen all these things till now. And sannyas, how to live a sannyasi with the intention to come back to God as early as possible. That lifestyle of such a sannyasi is described by explaining the lifestyle of Lord Dattatreya as the Avadhuta Brahmana. And now, in the 14th chapter, what kind of grahastha life one should lead? Eventually, that kind of lifestyle will help one go towards the spiritual world. So, one should do this varnashrama duties, a grahastha dharma, plus sadhana. If one is a devotee, one should practice bhakti. If one is a jnani, one should practice jnana yoga. If one is yogi, one should practice ashtanga yoga. If one is karmic, karma yoga, corresponding karma yoga, etc. So that is sadhana, and this is the day-to-day practices that one does for one's own maintenance as well as for one's own spiritual progress. So what kind of grahastha duties one should perform, which are conducive to progress in one's spiritual journey, will be described now in this chapter. Having described all other things, now he is talking about grahastha ashram. Brahmacharya is over, Vanaprastha is over. Now, the path of the householder engaged in worldly activity according to time and place. As long as one is in grahastha ashram, one need to follow certain rules and regulations. One need to perform certain rituals as per the time and place and circumstance. So what they should do and when they should do, where they should do, etc., will be discussed in this chapter. So last week we saw only the first question. The question was, "Oh great sage, please explain how we who are staying at home without knowledge of the goal of life may also easily attain liberation according to the instructions of the Vedic literature." So people like us, in spite of that, by doing what? By executing our household duties, in which way we can also attain the highest perfection. Can one attain liberation? The result of the paths of liberation, the renunciation by the path of enjoyment. So liberation is meant for the renounced. But can a grahastha who is not so renounced can also practice his grahastha dharma in such a way that eventually will attain liberation? So otherwise, the grahastha dharma leads to birth and death only. Urdhvam gachan satvasa madhya tishtanti rajasa jaganna gunavrittissa adho gatanchi tamasa. One is a householder either perform satvaguni activities, rajoguni activities, tamaguni activities. If they do satvaguni activities, they will go to swarga. Tamaguni activities, they will go to naraka. And rajoguni activities, they may remain where they are. Such possibility is there. But can the grahastha activities elevate them to spiritual world? That is the question. Now, thus, keeping that in mind, the king asked Narada Muni to begin describing the path of enjoyment. Please talk about the set of rules and regulations, the type of activities a householder must follow, which is said to be the path of enjoyment, the household activities. For a person qualified as a householder, after having spoken of Brahmacharya, Vanaprastha and Sannyasa life, all involved in renunciation. So that is the question. And this is most important, that's why it is kept at the end. So now, today we'll try to see this chapter, what is being described by Narada, how a grahastha are supposed to lead their life so that that life can help them go back to Godhead. That is the main topic of this chapter. Sri Narada Uvacha.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, which shloka are you reading?
A second shloka. You are not able to see the slides?
No. Okay, I'll repeat. Shri
Second
Narada
shloka.
Uvacha. Yes.
Gruheshu. Yeah. Sri Narada Uvacha.
Sri Narada Uvacha.
Guruveshu avastito rajan.
Graheshvavastito Rajan.
Kriya kuruvan yatochita.
Kriya Kurvan Yathochitaha.
Vasudevarpanam sakshad.
Vasudevarpanam Sakshad.
Upasita Mahamunin.
Upasita Mahamuni. Narad Muni replied, My dear king, those who stay at home as householders must act to earn their livelihood, and instead of trying to enjoy the results of their work themselves, they should offer these results to Krishna Vasudeva. How to satisfy Vasudeva in this life can be perfectly understood through the association of great devotees of the Lord.
Yes. Narada Muni is responding now. O king, one situated in household order in Grahastha ashram, performing one's own prescribed duties as an offering to Lord Vishnu, Lord Vasudeva, should worship the great devotees. So now, how and when the household activities will help us go back to Godhead? That is the question. The answer is very simple. Being a grahastha, one should do so many duties, do all the duties as an offering to Lord Vasudeva and serve the devotees. So, Vasudeva Arpanam Sakshat, Upasita Mahamunin. So, the other two things they should do. Performing one's actions as an offering to Lord Vasudeva, one should worship the devotees. Because the Lord is the spiritual world, his deity is there, but the devotees are around us. So, perform all the activities as an offering to Supreme Lord and worship the devotees. Take care of the devotees who are around us. So, these two things will help one move towards the abode of the Supreme Lord. That is the first point. And then what else one should do? Shrunvan Bhagavato Bhikshnam.
Shrunvan Bhagavato Bhikshnam.
Avatara Katamrutam.
Avatara Kathamrutam.
Shraddhadhano Yata Kalam.
Shraddhadhano Yatha Kalam.
Upashanta Janavrutaha.
Upashanta Janavrita.
Tatsangasanakai Sangam.
Tatsangaachanakai Sangam.
Atmajayatmajadishu.
Atmajayatmajadishu.
Vimunchenmuccamaneshu.
Vimunchenmuccamaneshu.
Swayam Swapnavaduttitaha.
Swayam Swapnavaduttita. A grihastha must associate again and again with saintly persons, and with great respect he must hear the nectar of the activities of the Supreme Lord and his incarnations, as these activities are described in Srimad Bhagavatam and other Puranas. Thus, one should gradually become detached from the affections of his wife and children, exactly like a man awakening from a dream.
Constantly hearing with faith. Constant hearing with faith. The nectar of the activity of Supreme Lord and the incarnations at various times in association with persons having controlled minds. One should gradually become detached from one's own wife and children, from whom one will be separated anyway. Exactly like a man on waking from a dream becomes detached from the son and wife in his dream. So now there are 2 points are mentioned here. So anyway, first verse my point was perform all the activities and offering to Supreme Lord and worship the devotees. Second, that how to worship the devotees? Hear about the Supreme Lord, his various incarnations, their appearances, and the pastimes, wonderful activities and qualities of Supreme Lord from the devotees of the Supreme Lord. So that is a way one can serve the devotees. Serving the devotee is hearing from them about the Supreme Lord. Thus, so by hearing more and more about the Supreme Lord, one should become attached to Supreme Lord, and slowly one should become detached from the world of this material existence, the material world, starting with one's own wife and children. So whenever in the Bhagavatam it says that one should become detached from one's own wife and children means become detached from them from the material platform. Do not have attachment on the basis of bodily platform, etc. If they are Vaishnavas, they should also be taken care and served as other Vaishnavas supposed to be served. So that is the understanding. So detached means anyway, as long as one is leading household order, one is anyway attached to them and taking care of them. But eventually, when one is coming to the end of the household order, when is about to take into Vanaprastha renunciation, sannyas order, so that time one should be detached. Otherwise, how will one take sannyas or Vanaprastha? So things will not stop at grasa. Afterwards, for that, one need to have from the work, from the home, from the properties, and from the people, friends, and relatives. Otherwise, one cannot take. So slowly, eventually, while coming close to this point of renunciation, one should become detached from all those things and people with whom one is associated for so long. Just like when a person comes out of the dream, he realizes that all the dream objects are not real. They are all something different. So he loses interest in them. Same way, when one want to enter into renunciation, when one want to come back to Godhead, one need to leave behind everything. So in that way, one should develop detachment. So that is it. Yatha kalam means at various times, such as afternoon. So morning, afternoon, evening, whenever time permits, one should hear Krishna Katha. Being surrounded by persons with controlled minds. So one should constantly listen to the topics of Supreme Lord. From whom one should hear Krishna Katha? Self-controlled devotees. If one is hearing from self-controlled devotees, then one will become self-controlled. So that is understanding. This means one should not listen to other topics at that time. So when that particular time is meant for hearing Krishna Katha, one should only hear Krishna Katha. One should not hear anything else other than Krishna Katha during that dedicated time. So that is the understanding. He should become detached from wife and children, from whom he will naturally be separated. If one does not become organically detached, one is forced to become detached at the time of death. At the time of death, anyway, one has to give them up and go ahead. So before death comes, one should give them up voluntarily and move on to forest and prepare for going back home back to Godhead, having taken to renunciation. So that is understanding. Just as an awakening from a dream, one becomes detached from sons or wife seen in the dream. So whomsoever we associate with the dream, after we come out of the dream, we have to forget them. We should lose our attachment to those people in the dream. Same way, when one is about to leave from this world, when one is about to change from Grasa to renounced ashram, Vanaprastha sannyas. So that time, if one want to do it normally, one should have the detachment from the family members, possessions, all these things. So then only one can do it. So that was the intention. Okay. Next verse will move on. Yavadartam upasino
यावदर्थम् उपासीनो
dehe gehe cha panditaha
देहे गेहे च पण्डितः
virakto raktavat tatra
विरक्तो रक्तवत् तत्र
duloke naratam naset.
त्रिलोके नरतां न्यसेत्. While working to earn his livelihood as much as necessary to maintain body and soul together, one who is actually learned should live in human society unattached to family affairs, although externally appearing very much attached.
So what is the next point? The next point is while enjoying material objects and remaining neutral to the material objects, appearing attached but internally being detached, one should show himself as a human being situated in his house in human society. So how one should lead one's grahastha life, that is being indicated. If one is born in an opulent family, artificially do not renounce everything. Just be in the midst of them, utilize whatever is supposed to be utilized day in, day out as part of the daily life, but remain neutral to material objects. If they are there, use it. If they are not there, it's okay. Not hankering for them. Such kind of behavior should not be there. And from the point of view of external people, when people see it, it should appear that one is so attached to things. But internally, within the core of the heart, one should be completely detached. Thus, one should live among everyone as if he is also one among them. But within the core of the heart, one should always think of how to come back to Godhead. So this is the way they should conduct themselves in this material world while being in this Grihastha ashram. While enjoying material objects and renounce and remaining neutral to those objects like body and house. What kind of objects? Body, house, family members, and other things. Appearing attached. One should appear as if one is fully attached to all of them, but neutrally, internally being detached. Externally, only one should show off one's attachment, but in the core of the heart, one should remain detached. So one should show himself as a human being situated in his house in human society. So this is expected from Shastra, but we generally do opposite. Externally, we show as if we are so detached, and internally, we are very much attached. That will not help us going back home back to Godhead. Like that. He further continues, Jnataya pitarau putra
ज्ञातया पितरौ पुत्रा
भ्रातरः सुहृदो परे
भ्रातरः सुहृदो परे
यद्वदन्ति यदिच्छन्ति
यद्वदन्ति यद्वदिच्छन्ति
चानुमोदेत निर्ममः.
चानुमोदेत निर्ममा. An intelligent man in human society should make his own program of activities very simple. If there are suggestions from his friends, children, parents, brothers, or anyone else, he should externally agree, saying yes, that is all right. But internally, he should be determined not to create a cumbersome life in which the purpose of life will not be fulfilled.
The verse talks about how to deal with the people. Of course, for one's own self, one may appear to be attached and internally attached. But one has to deal with the people, how to deal with them. To whatever his relatives, friends, children, parents, brothers, or anyone else say or wants, he should agree without being attached. So when people demand, the household friends and relatives and family members demand something, one should never say no. Because if one says no, that's all. There is conflict. the arguments will begin. There is conflict, difference of opinion, and eventually it may lead to fight and enmity, all those things. So one should never ever create such kind of things. One should always say yes, 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 yes. Whatever they say, yes, yes, yes. So same way, externally show as if everything is yes, 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 but internally not to become attached to it. So just say yes so that they will not feel bad. And if it is not supporting on spiritual practices, just postpone them slowly, slowly, slowly. If it is supportive to spiritual activities, then do it immediately, or something like that. Without attachment, one should agree. So this is the art of living, art of dealing with the people who have a lot of material demands. So in that one should agree. One should never ever say no, because that will lead to unnecessary conflicts. So that is the explanation. But one should not क्या बोलते हैं? What we can say, if one says okay, okay, they may be asking, okay, do it, do it, do it. So slowly, slowly, if it is useful, we can do it immediately. If it is not so, just slowly, slowly, slowly postpone, 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 and they will understand really eventually. So in that way. Srila Prabhupada writes in the so one should always say yes, 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 and but delay it, procrastinate. So in that way, they immediately they don't feel bad. So like that. Divyam Divyam Bhaumam Chantariksham
Divyam Bahuman Chantariksham
Vittam Achyuta Nirmitam
Vittam Achyuta Nirmitam
Tatsarvam Upayunjana
Tat Sarvam Upayunjana
Etat Kuryat Sato Buddha.
Etat Kuryat Sato Buddha. The natural products created by the Supreme Personality of Godhead should be utilized to maintain the bodies and souls of all living entities. The necessities of life are of three types: those produced from the sky, from rainfall, from the earth, that is, from the mines and the seas or the fields, and from the atmosphere, which is obtained suddenly and unexpectedly.
So here, in order to maintain one's own self and one's own family members, how one should get things for the maintenance. Utilizing whatever comes from the rain and sun, from the earth, or something comes on its own accidentally, all created by the Lord as his wealth. The intelligent householder should perform his daily and occasional duties. So basically, one should have this understanding that everything that is given to us, everything that is there in this world for our utility, they are all created by the Supreme Lord. Everything is Lord's creation. But even though everything is Lord's creation, in our vicinity, there are some things which are meant for us. The food grains grown by rain, sunlight, and river water from the surface of the earth, etc., etc. Or sometimes a king gives some charities which comes on its own accidentally, etc., etc. Accept these things as one's own wealth, and then with that perform one's daily and occasional duties. Instead of cheating somebody, lying to somebody, borrowing and usurping somebody's wealth, and looting somebody, such kind of things one should not do, because such kind of things causes karma bandhan. If at all one want to come back to Godhead, why one should create karma bandhan? Just be satisfied whatever comes on its own by natural, by the destiny of the Supreme Lord, and also what is given by the king. So with this, one should maintain one's livelihood day to day. Utilizing what comes from mines or what is obtained suddenly without plan from charities, which are all created by the Lord as one's own wealth, without worrying, one should perform one's daily and periodic duties. Of course, Somebody might be doing some occupation. So in that occupation, whatever comes, one should accept it as Lord's gift. So basically, on the back of the mind, this should be there. Whatever I possess today, everything is God's. Everything belongs to Supreme Lord. It is just given to me for my utility. I am not the owner. I am not the controller. I am not this. I am not this. So that kind of mindset one should have. So with that mindset, one should perform one's daily and periodical duties regularly. Which whatever comes on its own accord by the will of the providence, by the destiny or as per one's karma. Swataha Vittam means one's own wealth. All this should be accepted as one's own wealth. One should not eye upon somebody else's wealth, as it is spoken in the Vishwapranita. So like that. Hare Krishna, devotees are able to follow?
Yes,
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna. Yes, Prabhuji, but
Mm.
I had some doubt in the previous verse which we were discussing, that
Mm.
externally we should be saying yes to the family members or the relatives, but internally we should not be very much interested to do such materialistic activities.
No,
But
not
like,
exactly. Uh, Before that, one should see whether they are favorable or unfavorable. Anukulasya sankalpa, pratikulasya varjanam. At the same time, just because somebody told, so one should not be too attached to do all those things. If it is favorable for one's own spiritual life or for their spiritual life also, then those activities can be executed. If they are very much detrimental, then one should think about how to do, when to do, and whether do it or not. So धीरे धीरे उसको delay करने का.
yeah, but Prabhuji, what happens is when the person is, at particular stage of devotion, little advanced or little mature in devotion, then he has the capacity to do this thing. But
Mm.
those who are at a beginner level, they are very much interested. Means I see so many Mataji's project, like they are very much interested to follow the path of devotion. But from the home, they have so much opposition that they have to lie and come to the program for so that others should not know at home that they are going for the satsang program like this, like that. So in that case, they are not even mature yet in the devotion, but they have intense desire to follow the path. So for such kind of a devotees, it may not be possible, no, Prabhuji, always that, externally showing involvement in the family members' affairs and internally remain detached, like, or gradually with their intensity of devotion that will develop. Like.
Yeah, that is true. Everything will not happen overnight. It will take time. Everything will take its own time. So one need to work hard for that. Nothing comes for free. That is true. So initially there is a lot of
Okay,
struggle. Eventually one becomes mature enough to deal with such circumstances. That is true.
okay, okay, Prabhuji. Yeah, thank you.
Of course, this is a challenge. I mean, especially nowadays it becomes more and more because as Kali Yuga becomes more and more prominent, it becomes more difficult to practice bhakti. So there is no doubt about it. So it is a default thing. We cannot. So that's why at least so better late than never. So somehow or other we need to practice bhakti. So that's the only hope.
Yes, Prabhuji. And
Mm.
actually, Prabhuji, as a guide for, as a counselor or guide for them, it becomes very difficult for us also to, because we don't want to disrupt their family structure as well. That balance also has to be maintained, because
Mm.
otherwise it will be bigger problem. And we never intend to do so in the bhakti. But at the same time, they should be encouraged in the bhakti so that they can progress further. So both these things, maintaining that balance has to be done. Like, no? That is why I
Mm.
was asked.
That's why
Yeah.
Bhagavatam also clearly says, never ever say no. Because the saying no leads to conflict and eventually big argumentation and anything it can happen. So not to meddle with all these things. First say yes, but slowly think about how to do, whether to do it or not. So in that way, one should be little intelligent, little practical.
Yes. Prabhuji. Yeah.
Mm.
Thank you, sir.
Because everyone's situation is entirely different. So we cannot say like this. We cannot keep a black and white marks. So we need to respond according to circumstances. Yavad briyeta jataram.
यावद् ह्रियेत जठरम्
Tava sattvam hi dehinam.
तावत् स्वत्वं हि देहिनाम्
Adhikam yo bhimanyeta.
अधिकं योऽभिमन्येत
Saste no dandamarhati.
तस्तेनो दण्डमर्हति. One may claim proprietorship to as much wealth as required to maintain body and soul together. But one who desires proprietorship over more than that must be considered a thief, and he deserves to be punished by the laws of nature.
So this is another thing. If at all one want to go back, home back to Godhead, how one should lead one's grahastha life. One may claim proprietorship only over wealth required to maintain one's body. He who desires proprietorship over more than that is considered a thief, and he deserves to be punished. If one wants to go back, home back to Godhead, one has to leave behind everything. Anyway, if one has to leave behind everything, one why to accumulate so much? So like that, we can analyze it. So from that point of view, we have to understand this. If one want to go back home, but why one want to increase things here? So just keep those things which are enough to maintain one's own self. And a point before this is everything belongs to Lord. Everything is Lord's creation. If one has excess more than what one is needed, that should be given to God, given back to God or godly activities. So in that way, one is preparing oneself, becoming detached from the things of this material world and getting ready to go back, home back to Godhead. Whether it is brahmacharya, grahastha, vanaprastha or sannyasa, whether it is karma yoga, jnana yoga, ashtanga yoga or bhakti yoga, the key is detachment. The Vedic literatures, their main focus is all about detachment. Our sadhana, whatever sadhana we are trying to practice every day, getting up early in the morning, getting ready for Mangalarti, attending Mangalarti, morning program, japa, Bhagavatam class, whatever we can do at our home, whichever way possible. But whatever we are doing, the main thing is getting detached from this material world and becoming attached to spiritual world, so that we can leave this behind and go there. Otherwise, so much bhakti we may practice, and if we still have attachment to things of this material world, we will remain here only, will not go anywhere. That's why our sadhana is detachment. If detachment is not there, whatever sadhana we do, we remain here only. To whatever we are attached, we remain with that. Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tajati ante kalevaram. Whatever we remember at the time of death, that is what we live with. So if we remember our wealth, possession, people, friends, relatives, family members, we remain with them. If we remember Supreme Lord, we'll go back. To remember Supreme Lord, our remembrance of the things of this material world should become less and less and less. So this is the key for one's spiritual practices. Whichever spiritual practice one may do, the key is renunciation. This, if one has renunciation, the effect of the renunciation is humility. When we are completely renounced, that much we can have humility. When we possess so many things, that much we become proud. These are like the interdependent thing. Possession, pride. Renunciation, humility. These two sets are very closely connected to each other. So we need to cultivate renunciation if at all we want to go back, home back to Godhead. If we cultivated renunciation, then we express humility. So in that way, if by luck one attains a large amount of wealth, one should not be proud of that and should enjoy only as much as one needs. Yavat briyet jataram means by as much as the stomach is filled. What is the meaning of need? We need to fill our stomach maybe one time or two times or for some three times in a day. So whatever is required for that, that much we should keep. Rest all should be given back to the owner of the creation. That is the understanding. At least, if even if it is there with one should not be attached to that. Let it be there. Even before one is born, it was there. While one is living, it is there. After one's death, it will remain there. So in that way, one should be living in the midst of all the opulences, but should not be too attached to enjoy them. Just live indifferently. That is the understanding. Mrugostra, sorry, Mrugoshtra Markaku.
Mrugoshtra Karamarkaku.
Sari Srup Kagamash Makshika.
Tarispra Kagamakshikaha.
Atmanaha Putravat Pashet.
Atmanaha Putravat Pashet.
Ter Esham Antaram Kiyat.
Tairesham Antaram Kiyat. One should treat animals such as deer, camels, asses, monkeys, mice, snakes, birds, and flies exactly like one's own son. How little difference there actually is between children and these innocent animals.
So request all of you to pay attention from this verse onwards. From verse number 9 to 18. So these are about 10 verses. They talk about one important responsibility of the householders. The householders, in addition to having the responsibility of one's own spiritual progress, he also has the responsibility towards many people. So what are those responsibilities and how to execute them? So that is being described in these 10 verses. So in between one verse summarizes all of them. But anyway, kindly pay attention from now onwards. Just see what are the other subsequent responsibilities a person has, a householder has especially. One should treat animals such as deer, camels, asses, monkeys, mice, snakes, birds, and flies exactly like one's own sons, one's own children. How little difference there actually is between the children and these innocent animals. The meaning is just like the children are completely dependent on the parents, all these animals are also dependent upon human beings. Just as one divides food among one's own children, one should also give food to the animals. In the home, the parents, if they have kids, 1 kid, 2 kid, 3 kid, 4 kid, every day while they are having meal, they will also feed the children. They will never ever deprive the children of having their respective meals 3 times in a day because they feel that is their responsibility. Just like the parents feels the responsibility for children, similarly a grahastha should feel the responsibility of the children all over the society. The children in the forest, children in the village, etc., etc., etc. So here especially about the animals is being mentioned. The innocent, simple animals like deer, camels, asses, monkeys, mice, snakes, birds, flies, etc. They need some food. They also have right to live. So first of all, allow them their share of food. If they are forest animals, never ever enter into their territory, never ever steal their food, never ever disturb their ecosystem. Allow them to live. If some of them are village animals, feed them. Just like one feeds one children, feeding them as one's own children, feed them. Yeah, that is a responsibility. So like that. So this is one of the important responsibility of human beings in relation to the animals in the forest and the animals in the village. So like that. And also, when Shastra says that it becomes the responsibility of householders to take care of the innocent animals, just like one takes care of the children, then indirectly it indicates that one does not, one should not harm the animals. Then what to speak of killing them? Just like the parents can never ever harm the children, similarly, a householder should never harm all the animals. Then what to speak of thinking of killing them for one's own tongue pleasure? That is not at all approved. So, in that way. So that was one
Hare
point.
Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, why the snake has been said as an innocent animal here, Prabhuji?
So, in the sense, if it is living in the forest, don't go unnecessarily after the snakes and kill them. If they are supposed to live in the forest, allow them to live. That is the understanding. Snakes are said to be forest animals. They are not village animals. If they come to village
Yeah.
and they are harming someone, then they can be killed. But one should not just like that go and kill them for no reason. For one's
Okay.
self-defense, one may kill.
Okay. If the snake enters the house, we can take care for our protection. But you should not enter the snake's territory in the jungle and try
Harm
to
them.
disturb his system
Yes,
like that.
yes. That is understandable.
And another thing, Prabhuji, like all these animals have been said. So in today's day and age, how we understand that we should be taking care of them, apart from not disturbing their ecosystem, what you mentioned. But so many
Allow them to
animals,
live, allow them. See, there are many things are happening. The forest animals are not able to live because we don't keep the forests only. We're cutting down the forest, first of all. Second thing, people go on hunting. So that's why we are causing them damage. So that is the problem.
Okay. And same thing can be applied for other animals like mice and all also. Like if they are entering the kitchen in the temple or in the house, then we can take measures to remove them or kill them, right? Like
Yes,
that
yes,
happen.
yes. At least killing them is not recommended. For snake is different, and this mice and all different. For snake, if it is unavoidable, you can kill. But if जितना हो सकता है उतना उसको पकड़ के बाहर फेंक दो फॉरेस्ट में. उसी प्रकार mice also you catch it and throw it in the forest. Nowhere the license is given for killing unless until it is a question of life and death.
No, actually, Prabhuji, some of the mice repellents and things like that come now. So they mention that the mice will eat those things and they will go outside the house and then they will means they will die because of that. So such things should not be used, mice repellent.
Yeah, it's not recommended. We should use that rat catcher to catch it and throw it out. So basically, if we keep our premise clean and neat, the expectation of the rats is very less. Still, in spite of that, they're coming and do some way catch them and throw them out. But at least killing is not outrightly recommended.
Yes. Okay, Prabhuji. And Prabhuji, like
See, but
previous verse.
the simple reason is if one want to go back home back to God, why should one kill Kamavanam? If we kill one rat, we are supposed to be killed by the rat in the next life.
Yes.
So we have to take birth. We cannot give excuse because I'm a devotee, I can be excused. No, not like that. We have done something, we are held responsible.
Yes.
Whether one is a devotee or non-devotee.
Yes.
In temple also, I mean, I being in the maintenance department, our Brajaraj Prabhu, he used to bring a rat catcher that what do you call that iron mesh.
Pindra.
Every night we keep in the altar. The pujaris will keep in the altar when they put the deities for resting at 9-10. They keep some rat things here and there, and later on they used to get some semi-liquid thing. So when rats walks upon that, it is attached to it. It cannot free itself. So next day morning, the devotees will take it out and free the rat and throw it outside. They throw in the nearby ocean. So like that. Sometimes the rats are
Okay.
very big. They used to take all the rats in the vehicle which used to go to GV, and they would throw all the rats where at Nanachok. Nanachok mean what is that? Tennaga.
Mm-hmm.
So where the road which was going to Ahmedabad, where we take right turn towards Manor, not Manor, if just before Manor, that is where they used to leave the rats. So all the way they would take them. So it is like that. So sometimes we should be giving some time to do the needful.
Okay. Yes. Prabhuji. Prabhuji, one more thing, like in the previous verse, whatever we discussed now, that the householder should collect only that much things that is needed for maintaining the body and soul together.
It's not about
So,
collect, it's about claim proprietorship or accept.
okay.
One may get more. If one is born in already a rich family, it is already there. But one should only take as much as needed just to maintain oneself. Just because it is there, one cannot lavishly enjoy. That is not conducive for going
Okay.
back to Godhead.
Okay. Because I thought from this standard, if we try to see, means all the householders will be, barred from going back to Godhead, because we have to collect, means monthly so much things we will collect and keep like that for the whole month. Like so,
See, there is a problem
then
here. When Bhagavatam is talking, that time lifestyle was entirely different from the lifestyle what we are leading now. So in those days, the lifestyle mostly depend upon agriculture, all these things. So nowadays we have everyone is living in the cities and working. What we are earning is rupees. But those people who have agriculture, they have the food grains, excess food grain, they'll give it on charities and here and there. Because they know every season they will be getting something. But right now our lifestyles are uncertain. We don't know what will happen. Anything can happen anytime. So we need to have some reserve. So
yeah,
so we need to be practical from that sense. That means the understanding is having something is not bad. Having attachment to that which we have is bad.
yes.
Hmm.
Hare
First of
Krishna,
all,
The
Prabhuji.
next,
having attachment. Second is trying to enjoy just because one has.
yes, true, true.
These two one
Yes.
should be careful.
Again, that point of external attachment and internal detachment will come. That externally we may be feeling that we are collecting so many things, but internally, how you are looking at the collected things, like whether somebody may look at it that this everything has come for the service of the deities in the house, and every now and then as required we will use it like that. So then that is a different perspective altogether, rather than
No,
when
again,
for
don't put a devotee thing in here. Just see it as objectively for everyone. Of course, for devotee, we should attribute it in a way. But in general, also, this is the way one should lead one's Gurastha life. Even one may be devotee, one may become want to become a jnani or a yogi or nishkama karma yogi. This is a common thing for everyone.
okay, okay, Prabhu, yeah. Understood.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna Dhanatra.
I have a doubt, Prabhuji. Like, if we are driving and in the highways, and if the snake encounters or it comes under our car or it gets killed, and we could not stop our car because of the speed, then in that case, do we get pap, or like what happens in that case?
So at least one should feel sorry that I have killed something.
Okay.
That one should feel sorry that one should not want to do like that once again. That's all. Because
Okay.
so there are few things. I'll tell you these things will come couple of verses later. What it is, what is the what should be our outlook for such things when something
Yes, if it is
happens beyond our control.
unintentionally killed.
Hmm.
Okay,
Sorry.
Prabhuji, thank you. If it is unintentionally killed, the snake.
That's what. Something is
Huh.
beyond our control if it happens and so on. What should be our outlook? We will discuss in a couple of verses later. It comes.
Okay, Prabhuji, thank you. Hare
Yeah.
Krishna.
So whatever, kindly remember what we are discussing now because we need to see the summary of all these things when we come to 18th verse. Trivargam nati krichrena
त्रिवर्गं नातिकृच्छ्रेण
भजेता गृहमेद्यपि
भजेत गृहमेध्यपि
यथा देशं यथा कालम्
यथा देशं यथा कालं
यावद्दैवोपपादितम्
यावद्दैवोपपादितम्. Even if one is a householder rather than a brahmachari, a sannyasi, or a vanaprastha, one should not endeavor very hard for religiosity, economic development, or satisfaction of the senses. Even in householder life, one should be satisfied to maintain body and soul together with whatever is available with minimum endeavor, according to place and time, by the grace of the Lord. One should not engage oneself in ugra karma.
Even if one is a householder, one should not endeavor very hard for dharma, artha, and kama. So one may say, brahmacharis, vanaprastha, and sannyasis are very easygoing. They don't have any responsibilities and they only have one thing to do, just chant Hare Krishna and be happy in the case of devotees. But we grihasthas, we have 100,000 things. So we need to do so many things. We need to take care of the family members, friends, relatives, our property, this, that, job, and all. So many things are there. So one may say, so all these things we may say dharma, artha, kama. So we need to perform dharma. That means we need to go to office and perform our duties. As a result of that, we get monthly salary. As a result of that, we maintain all the requirements of the family for the entire month. For the entire month, we need to take care of the grocery. We need to take care of the gas, and we need to take care of electricity bill, water bill, and we need to take care of the school fees, college fees of the children and their pocket money and this, that, and for one's own travel, car maintenance, all these things. So many things are there. That is called karma in one sense. In addition to that, there could be some things, some additional luxury things. So once in a while, maybe going traveling to a holy place or picnic spot, and once in a while going to a restaurant and eating, something like that. So many things are there. They all we can put them into kama. So that way, so one may say that okay, I'm doing my duties. I'm leading a proper gross order. I'm doing my duties. I'm earning wealth and taking care of the requirements of myself and my family members. Dharma, artha, and kama. So this is what is all about the grasa life. So one may say, but here, if at all such a grasta want to go back home back to Godhead, one should not simply give an excuse that, okay, I'm a grasa, I'm bound to dharmartha kama, I should only do dharmartha kama. No, it should not end there. So what it is, even if one is householder, one should not endeavor very hard for dharma, artha, and kama. He should maintain himself with whatever is available according to place and time by the grace of the Lord. That means instead of working too much, instead of working hard too much, instead of spending too much time just for earning wealth and maintaining the family members, do these things to the basic requirement and spend the rest of the time practicing bhakti or practicing one's own sadhana. So like that. As first canto says, dharmasya apavargasya na artho arthaya upakalpate. Dharma should be executed for the purpose of apavarga, not for artha. If at all one want to go back home back to Godhead. Otherwise, if one want to live in this world, at least do according to Shastra, follow the Sat Dharma, which will give you artha, with which you maintain your family, fulfill your desires while living in this material world in a bona fide Shastric way. But if one want to go back home back to Godhead, one should not say that the purpose of life is just to follow Dharma, Artha, Kama. No. The purpose of life and the purpose of performing Dharma, Artha, Kama is to attain moksha and go back home back to Godhead. That should be in the forefront of everything that we do. So in that way, one should not enjoy by making great endeavor, but with whatever comes with little effort by chance. One should not expect great wealth. Here, Bhagavatam says that if we work hard, if we earn more, it is natural that we become attached to that. One cannot give it away. It is very difficult. Just like a parents give birth to a child and take care of the infant baby and take care of the growth of the baby 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year, 5th year, send them to school, send them to college, send them to university, and also eventually look after their settlement. And by the time they want to get him married, that boy says, I want to become brahmachari. And parents cry. And parents come and create ruckus in the temple because that is natural. Because they have given 25 years, full 25 years. They invested their full time in the upbringing of the child. And the child suddenly says, I want to become brahmachari. So how will they give up that attachment? It is very natural. Not only for child, I'm giving some example. Being a brahmachari, I'm saying. But in any case, whether one might work hard and construct a home, one might work hard, purchase a vehicle. So like that, anything one does, there is the attachment, natural attachment. But if one want to come back to Godhead, there should not be attachment for anything in this material world. That's why it is said, in order to not develop so many things with which we have attachments, so don't develop those things only so much. Even if you develop them indifferently. Externally show attachment, but internally completely be detached. So one point is, if you are expert to do this, so do everything and not to be attached, then no problem. But if you can't be like that, better don't do. At least better don't do those things which may put one in the material bondage. If at all one want to come back to Godhead. Do as much as required to maintain oneself and one's dependence. So in that way. So Bhagavatam never says you should not expect wealth. Instead, Bhagavatam says one should not expect great wealth. Yavat daivopa paditam. As per destiny, as per our karma, whatever is required for our maintenance, accept that much. As if we only deserve that much. So like that. So that's why in the past, the Brahmanas never used to be wealthy. Because Brahmanas used to read Shastra day in, day out, and they understand all these things. They know having more wealth will lead to bondage. They will take, if the king is giving more charity, they will take, and they will only keep as much as required for them for that day, and all the excess wealth they will give it to somebody else as charity. So the Brahmanas voluntarily used to leave poverty because they understand having more, there is a great chance of becoming attached to all these things. So better live a life of detachment. So like that. And for others, like Kshatriyas and Vaishyas, by default, they are living in the midst of opulences, but they need to cultivate renunciation, detachment. Even though they may be living in the midst of opulences, they should be detached from them. They may accept, they may appear to be enjoying all of them because it is required to wear all the jewelry and mukut for a king. So you should wear, but you should not be attached to them. So like that. This is the toughest thing. One who does not have anywhere does not have attachment, but one who has still have detachment, that is very tough. But that is what is expected. Otherwise, it is very difficult to live behind this world. Ashwagante vasaibhya
अश्वाघ्रान्ते वसायिभ्य
kaman samvibhajedyata
कामान् संविभजेद्यथा
api ekam atmanodaram
अप्येकामात्मनोदाराम्
nृणां स्वत्वाग्रनो ग्रहो यथा.
नृणां स्वत्वग्रहो यथा. Translation: Dogs, fallen persons, and untouchables, including chandalas, dog eaters, should all be maintained with their proper necessities, which should be contributed by the householders, even one's wife at home, with whom one is most intimately attached, should be offered for the reception of guests and people in general. Right. Thank you.
So now, if you remember in the previous verse, it was discussed about animals, mostly forest animals, some village animals. Now, some village animals and the people of the village. Dogs, the fallen persons and untouchables, including chandalas, should all be maintained with their proper necessities as is suitable. Because of this, even one's wife, with whom one is most intimately attached, should be offered for the reception of guests. So, in the village, if there are people like outcast and very fallen people, etc., etc., even for them, one should take care of them because if there is no one takes care of them, they will do more and more sinful activities. These people are doing sinful activities because they don't have anything for their survival. If somebody takes care of them, why would they do sinful activities? So, like that, the able grosas should employ them, take care of them, and engage them in positive activities which are favorable to practice of devotional service. Instead of allowing them live on their own and motivating them to thievery and robbery and criminal activities, etc., etc. That is not at all recommended. So this is also the responsibility of householder. And for others who are well-to-do, whoever comes home, they all should be received nicely and they all should be attended, served by the way of giving water, giving food, etc., etc., etc. So oneself and one's wife should always engage together in guest reception, in taking care of the guests and serving them, etc., etc. So well-to-do people will come as a guest to our home, and other paupers may be there at far outside the village, but they should be helped. They should be employed, and they should be helped in whichever way it is required, so that they will stop doing criminal activities, and so that they because you are a devotee, and by serving you and by performing activities in your home in devotional aspects, they will also gain benefit. So in that way, one is responsible to other people of this lower activities, and also one should take care of the guests, whoever comes to home, one's equals and etc., etc. So the wife and husband combinedly should serve the guests and take care of them. So like that. Just make a note of what are the different kind of people and different kind of entities we are responsible to. So let us see. After some time, we see the summary of all these things. One should offer whatever is necessary to dogs. So in village, there are so many dogs. So people in village now, whatever food left, they will offer to the dogs. They will offer some milk, they will offer some buttermilk, etc., etc. Of course, nowadays it has become very casual, very normal to keep pet dogs in their homes. But at least from the Bhagavatam point of view, there are no pet dogs. The village dogs are also like children in our family. So every family should take care of some dogs, cats. They offer them some food, some whatever they would eat. So in that way, they are also maintained. So like that. One should offer whatever is necessary to dogs, sinners, and lower castes, such as chandalas. Even though one's own service is neglected while the wife serves the guests, she should be engaged thus in serving guests and not serving in any other way. Since it is said that one should divide things as much as is appropriate. This is the opinion of Srila Sridhar Swami. Others also do not take the words literally. So here the understanding is, so just like one should serve, one should take care of the forest animals, one should also take care of the village animals like dogs and cats, and also one should take care of the sinful people and the people who are outcast or something like that, employ them properly and engage them in proper services and also feed them, take care of them, so that they will not do sinful activities. And guests, when the guests come, oneself and one's wife should be attended to them at the cost of one's own comforts. So like that. That's why we say in India, Atiti Devo Bhava. The guest is like the Supreme Lord. When the Supreme Lord comes to our home, how we serve? We should serve the guest also like that. At the cost of our own discomfort. That is the understanding.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Ah,
Prabhuji, regarding this dog thing now, like even in today's world, like I see at least in and around my colony and complex, like there are so many people who will specially cook rice for the dogs, and they have the different plates also, steel plates made for the dogs. And at particular time, they will come to the particular spot and they will call all the dogs, and all the dogs will come. But what happens in a process, like many times, these dogs, they are very much aggressive towards the passers by, and sometimes, many times actually, they even attack the passers by. So that actually becomes very big problem in the societies. Like, so how we should look at these privileges? At least
no,
till
no, you
now,
are
I
not
all.
getting. You are not getting. See, we are not talking about the city lifestyle, how they take care of that. This is like village kind of thing. The dogs will be roaming here and there. Whatever food extra is there at home, they will feed. They'll keep it outside the home, and the dog will come and eat and go away. These dogs are not staying in front of anybody's house and everywhere. If some dog, if in other case also, if some dogs, stray dogs only, they are feeding and the dogs are becoming aggressive because they are overfed and nicely fed. So such kind of things are not recommended. At least for those who want to go back home, back to gardens. If somebody is doing, they become more attached to dogs. Whatever we
That is
do, it is
also there.
natural that we become attached to it.
Uh, because means seeing that now, I always feel that yes, shastras recommend something, but why do I have such a negative attitude towards such people in my mind, that they are creating nuisance, in fact. Because some small children and all, they face so much, means people are terrorized to walk after 8:39 in the complex itself due to the fear of dogs. People coming, they will first ask whether there are dogs in and around your building, like that. That much is the terror. So yeah, that is, and these are all stray dogs. They are not somebody's dogs, like that. So that is
No,
a
if they are
feeling.
creating issue, then you should complain. They will come and take the dogs. I think Bombay, that facility is there. If you complain, they will
Yeah.
come and catch them and take them away. So
Yeah, right. So that kind of activities could not be considered as according to the scriptures, na Prabhuji.
no, 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 not like that, because the dogs are also living in the village. They need food, na. Someone should offer them food. They also have a
That
right
is
to live.
okay. Means if you
So
have
only that
extra
much
something.
only. That only up to that
Ah,
much. It is not a it is not a prescribe. It's not like as compulsory as daily chanting.
yeah, because I have seen even my neighbor a few years back. She used to go down and take one of the stray dogs. She developed a lot of attachment. She used to bring that dog home on the third floor, and the rest of the dogs, they used to feel, oh, this dog is getting such a opportunity, and we are not getting. So they will be roaming around in the building when we will get the opportunity, like that. So it somewhere it became pathological attraction for the dogs. So it created a problem, lot many problems, and the police had to be called and things like that. So that is why I just felt I'll clear out that scriptures say
See,
like that, but
what's
there is.
happening in Bombay and all, it is entirely different thing what Shastra talking about. Shastra does not talk about all these things. In a simple village kind of atmosphere, how things should be done. That way we can see. So
Okay, yeah. So means whatever shastras say, it has to be understood from the proper perspective. What is the objective of shastras are
hmm,
telling particular thing, not just the
yes.
activity itself. Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Professor.
Because being a citizen, it is a responsibility one has towards other beings. So that is being indicated here. That's why I'm saying na count what all we are discussing, count all of them. We'll see. There the verse comes which summarizes all these things. Jayadidarte swan. Sorry. Jayadidarte swan pranan.
Jayhadyadarte swan pranan.
Anyadva pitaram gurum.
Hanyadva pitaram guru.
Tasyam swastvam striyam jayad.
Tasyam swatvam striyam jayhad.
Yaste nahi ajito jitaha.
Yaste nahi ajito jitaha. One so seriously considers one's wife to be his own that he sometimes kills himself or kills her or kills others, including even his parents or his spiritual master or teacher. Therefore, if one can give up his attachment to such a wife, he conquers the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is never conquered by anyone.
The unconquerable Lord is conquered by a person who gives up possessiveness of his wife, for whom he would kill himself, his father, or his guru. Here, guru means could be spiritual master, could be any elderly person, any elderly relative. So basically, the point is, if one wants to come back to Godhead, one should have detachment. If there is too much attachment, that attachment not only deprive one from going back to Godhead, it may incite one to get into more and more degraded situation by doing more and more sinful activities for the sake of one's object of attachment. So that is understanding. So it may go to the extent of attachment to women can take one to killing oneself, killing one's own parents, and killing one's relatives. That can happen. Attachment can take one to that point also, even killing one's own guru and parents, which no one can imagine. That is the problem with attachment. So the negative side effects of the attachments are shown in this verse. So because of this, one should be highly careful. That is the understanding. This verse explains that giving up attachment to one's wife is very difficult. Sukadeva Goswami says, it is easy to say than do. One may say I am detached, but it is very difficult to be detached. So especially in relation to the attachment to one's own spouse. So like that. So now one would say, so what is the problem? Of course, there is one problem already stated. Because of excessive attachment, one would go to the extent of killing oneself, killing one's parents, and killing one's friends and relatives, and all the way up to guru also. But the other problem is krimivid basma nishtantam.
Krumi ving vasmanishtantam
Kevalam tucham kalevaram.
vedam tucham kalevaram
Vatadiyaratir bharya.
vatadiyaratir
Vayam atmanabhaschadai chadi.
vayam atmanabhaschadi. Through proper deliberation, one should give up attraction to his wife's body, because that body will ultimately be transformed into small insects, stool, or ashes. What is the value of this insignificant body? How much greater is the Supreme Being, who is all pervading like the sky?
What is this insignificant body which finally ends in worms, stool, or ashes? Why one would do all these things? Killing one's self or killing one's parents or friends and relatives and guru also because of attachment to one's wife. But before the attachment to one's wife, one will have attachment to one's own body. Without attachment to one's own body, one can never ever have attachment to one's wife. That is always understood. So now all these things are happening because of one's own attachment to one's own body. But ultimately, what is the destiny of that body? Ultimately, one day that body becomes worms. If it is buried, it becomes worms. And if it is thrown in the forest, it will be eaten by forest animals. And the next day morning, it becomes the stool of those forest animals. And if it is burnt, it becomes ashes. What is this attraction to the body of a wife? Attachment to one's own body, which is finally destined to become warm stool or ashes. Then what to speak of the attachment to one's body of one's own wife? What value is the wife in comparison to the Supreme Lord who covers the sky? So now he is giving the comparison. In comparison to going back home back to God and becoming an eternal associate of the Supreme Lord, having attachment to wife and for that attachment killing oneself and killing one's parents and killing one's friends and relatives and even up to the spiritual master. Just compare what is more valuable. So like that. So kindly pay attention from the very beginning. We are seeing that everything, every point that is being described in the Bhagavatam is all having one purpose. To go back home back to Godhead. That is the main purpose of everything that we do. So Bhagavatam never ever budges even 1 inch from this. This verse gives the logic for giving up attachment to wife. Her body finally ends in worms, stool or ashes. What is the attachment to wife's body? Sadiyarati. What is the Supreme Lord who covers? What is the Supreme Lord who covers even the sky? This means if one attain the Lord by giving up attachment to the wife, so much more is gained. What we gain by going back to Godhead is incomparable to what we have by having attachment to one's own body and body of one's wife. It's like that. So in that way, it is being indicated. So now the point is, when we say attachment to body and children in the Bhagavatam from the beginning till the end, these attachments on the basis of bodily or mental plane, not on the spiritual plane. On the spiritual plane, one is not attached to the body. Instead, one is attached to the Jivatma. One sees each and every Jivatma as the Vaishnava, and one serves every Jivatma as in very respectful way. In that service, one shows affection, expresses affection, etc. Not on the material or emotional platform, but on the spiritual platform. So that is okay. But on the material, emotional, and physical platform is detrimental to one's spiritual progress. So in that way, one should understand. Because all these verses are talking about attachment to wife, attachment to wife, attachment to wife. The attachment on the bodily platform or mental platform. So that's how we have to understand. Previously, it was said that one should maintain attachment to objects only to the extent of filling the belly. Now the means of doing that is explained. So previously in one of the verses it said that just to maintain things that are, just keep the things that are required to maintain you. But don't have attachment to excess things. So how to do that? You have said easily, but kaise karenge? So let us see, the next verse might say that how to do that. Siddhair yajnavasishtartai
सिद्धेर्यज्ञानिविष्ठस्थे
kalpayed vrittimatmanaha
कल्पयेद्वृत्त्यात्मना
शेषे स्वत्वं त्यजन् प्राज्ञा
शेषे सत्त्वं त्यजन् प्रजन
पदवीं महतां यत्.
पदवीं महातामियात्. Translation: An intelligent person should be satisfied with eating prasad, food offered to the Lord, or with performing the 5 different kinds of yajna, panchasuna. By such activities, one can give up attachment for the body and so-called proprietorship with reference to the body. When one is able to do this, he is firmly fixed in the position of a Mahatma.
So here it is said, Siddher yajnava shishtartai kalpayed vrittim atmanaha. How one should lead one's daily life? One should maintain oneself by the remnants of the 5 daily sacrifices obtained from products of the sky, the products of the earth, and products from unexpected fortune like king giving charity, etc. The wise man giving up possessiveness attains the greatest position at the end. He attains Vaikuntha. Such a person who does not claim proprietorship on the things in the material world, in the material things of the material nature in the material world, will attain spiritual world. So basically, what is our position? The yajna avashishta. Arthi. So whatever avashishta, you can say grass are supposed to perform there, only that is our position. One should only claim proprietorship over these 5 things, nothing more than that. So what are those 5 things, how they should be performed, etc., will be the next upcoming verses. One should maintain oneself by the remnants of the 5 sacrifices. So one may say, what are these 5 sacrifices? Deva yajna, Rushi yajna, Pitru yajna, Bhuta yajna, and Ru yajna. How to execute all these 5 sacrifices? By all the products which are produced from the sky, earth, or by accident. So basically, sky means wind and sunlight and moonlight. Earth is earth, and rain also part of the sky. And basically, whatever comes by doing agriculture, by growing, and also whatever comes by charities. When somebody else gives charity without one's working hard, one gets. When one works hard to grow the grains and vegetables in the field, that is also accepted for once. Basically, one should collect all these things to perform these 5 yajnas. Deva yajna, Rushi yajna, Pitru yajna, Bhuta yajna, and Ru yajna. So now, that means our life is meant to perform these 5 yajnas, and whatever is the prasad of these 5 yajnas is meant for our maintenance. That's how one should lead Grihastha ashram. There is nothing more than doing these 5 yajnas in the Grihastha ashram.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Mataji.
This 5 yajnas,
Hmm.
Panchasuna yajna, they are considered to be a karmakandi activity.
Mm-hmm. If they
There
are
is a
karmakandi
shloka.
activities, why would they come in the Bhagavatam?
It's in the last canto, it is mentioned Devarishi Bhutapta Nrinam Pitrinam. Those who are surrendered to Mukunda, there is no need for them to do this.
No, not like that. Those who are surrendered to Mukunda completely.
Okay.
So what do you mean by surrendered to Mukunda?
Surrendered means we become devotees of Krishna.
Not like that. Sarvadharman
Ananya Bhakti.
Parityajya. Mamekam Sharanam Praja.
Perform Ananya Bhakti to Krishna.
Other than Bhakti, when one is not doing anything else, then one no need to do all these responsibilities also.
Okay.
But as long as one is in Grihastha ashram, one should be doing all these things. When Sarvadharman will happen? When you are coming out of Grihastha ashram.
Mhm.
When one is in Grihastha ashram, one has the Grihastha dharma. Then how can you say Sarvadharman Parityajya?
Mhm.
So in that way.
Okay.
The moment we say Sarvadharman Parityajya, we should not claim proprietorship on anything else. We do not have a proprietorship over the body also. What to speak of anything else? When we come to Sarvadharman Parityajya, we should say that the body in which we are living is also not my body. As we read in the previous section, Avya Vanaprastha, when he is not able to do any more tapasya, is diseased or sick and old, what kind of mentality they should have? He should simply lying down and breathing. He should not be doing anything in relation to the body, because his body is not mine. How can I do? I cannot see, I cannot speak, I cannot smell, I cannot touch, I cannot do this, I cannot do that. So like that.
Like Madhavendra, Sripad Madhavendra Puri, that slok is there.
Like the Goswamis and all.
Yeah.
So basically, when we say Ananya Bhakti means other than Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atma Nivedanam, other than these 9 Bhakti activities, one should not be doing anything else.
Yes. Thank
So,
you.
I mean, from one point of view, it may seems to be impractical and illogical also, but that is the way we should understand. Currently, as of now, we cannot do that. It's not possible. We have a home, we need to take care of the housekeeping and we need to take care of the maintenance of the home and we need to take care of the people living in the home. We need to cook for them daily, morning, afternoon, evening. In order to cook, we need to get the vegetables. In order to get the vegetables, we need to work hard, we need to get salary. So one depend upon others. There are n number of things which we need to take care of them. Ananya Bhakti means no cumbersome of all these things. Raghunath Goswami, not worried at all. If somebody gives him some chance, he will take, otherwise he will not eat only. Like we discussed in the previous chapter, Ajagara Vritti. If somebody gives some charity, he will take. Some food they give, he will take. Otherwise, if nobody gives, just lie down there only. That kind of lifestyle is not possible for a grasta. He cannot live like that artificially. But eventually, he should come to that point to become like that. That will happen when one enters into Vanaprastha or Sannyasa. But as long as one is in grasta order, one should be doing all these 5 yajnas. And it is a person has only right to accept the Mahaprasad of these 5 yajnas. Other than that, one should not have anything else. So like that.
Hare Krishna.
Ah.
Prabhuji, like what you were saying just now, so in the devotee perspective, can we understand it that means what it is said now that one should accept only the prasad of these 5 yajnas. So if whatever comes in the house, devotee offers it to the Lord, can it be considered same as of taking prasad of Panchayatnas?
Wait. Just because we are accepting prasadam which is offered to deities, we cannot say that I am excluded from performing panchayagnas. Why panchayagnas we need to do? We need to understand first. Let us see what is supposed to be mentioned in the later verses. Then we understand how to attribute it to devotees. Is the devotees are excluded from doing these panchayagnas, or they are supposed to do these panchayagnas, or who should do, who should not do? We need to understand that. Then we can say, we can give some judgment. Devarshi Bhutatunam Chapitunam, that verse is there, but for whom that verse is applicable, in what condition that is applicable, that we need to understand.
Because Prabhuji, we do see that Lord himself used to perform all these things when he was in Dwarka living
Then do
with
it. Na?
Krishna.
If Lord himself is doing, why we should not do? Then why the question will come that devotees will not do, no need to do.
But we don't do anything, na Prabhuji, in ISKCON, nothing is of that this sort is said
They have not
anywhere.
read 7th canto.
How can we say like that, Prabhuji, please?
I mean, if you have read, if you have understood that you are supposed to do, you will do it.
We don't even know what is to be done in this
And that's
Panchayatna.
what we don't even know means we have never read or we have never heard. The understanding is that. If we have
We have
heard that
not
we are supposed
seen
to do that,
anybody doing, na Prabhuji. The other devotees, our seniors, we are not seen doing them. So naturally, the generations of devotees
see,
which come
wait.
after them.
Forget about what happened till now. Now let us read. Let us understand what are they and why they should be done. We should understand that. Then we examine whether who should do, who should not do, who can be excused, who should not be excused. That will come later on. First, let us see. So now these are 5 yajnas one should perform, and the Mahaprasad of these 5 yajnas only should be claimed as one's possession. Right now, most of you in the Mumbai city might be having own home, might be having own vehicle. All these things are there. So by default, you claim the proprietorship. But according to Bhagavatam, one should only claim the proprietorship only those things which are the prasada of these 5 yajnas. So let us see, how to understand all these things. So now, out of these 5 yajnas, Bhuta Yajna and No Yajna are already mentioned in verse 9 and verse 11. The other three Yajnas, Deva Yajna, Rishi Yajna and Pitru Yajna are mentioned now. How Bhuta Yajna was mentioned in the verse 9? Anyone remembers?
One should help others. One should help others who are less fortunate than you.
No, Mataji, again you are mistaken. Bhuta means other living entities. The forest animals,
animals and
deer, all the animals, forest animals, village animals, birds. So that is our responsibility toward them. If their food is separate, allow them to eat their food. If their food is also like our food, offer them the food. Offer cat and dog whatever they eat, and other animals allow them whatever is meant for them to eat instead of encroaching their property. So that is Bhuta Yajna. So Bhuta Yajna means it is not that you need to prepare a fire sacrifice and you need to pour ghee and all the grains in that. That is not just Yajna. Yajna means the principle of sacrifice. Something is meant for somebody else, let it be for them. It is not for me. I don't have any right to usurp it or use it for myself. That is the essence of sacrifice. The literal meaning of sacrifice means just give it away. It is not yours. So that is Bhuta Yajna. And Dhru Yajna. Dhru Yajna is all the human beings. Dhru means human being. In the human being, there are two categories. Some are sinful people, some are civilized people. For sinful people, employ them, take care of them, guide them, feed them, so that they will not do sinful activities. For the civilized people, receive them as a guest and serve them. Atiti Devo Bhava. Just like we serve deity in our home, Archana Padati, same way the guest should be served. Keeping all our personal comfortable things aside, attend to the guests. That way, the Dhru Yajna will be done. So basically, in Dhru Yajna, the first thing is feeding them. Second thing is giving them if they need something more than food. If they need some clothing, some help in regards to shelter, etc., should be offered. So that is the yajna. Here one no need to do fire sacrifice. No ghee is required, no fire is required, no grains are required. Atiti Devo Bhava, taking care of the guests in whichever way it is possible. Guests, the human beings, civilized human beings are treated as guests, and sinful people are treated as innocent, and they should be given right guidance and right engagement, right employment. This is called Dhru Yajna. All the other human beings. In that Devarshi Bhutapta Nam Chapiturnam, Apta is missing. So Apta means one's family members and close relatives, etc., they come in the category of Apta. So here we can keep those Apta either in Dhru Yajna or in Pitru Yajna. So in one of these two categories, if we take Pitru Yajna, our ancestors, the gone ancestors, then we should use Apta into Dhru only. Dhru in general human beings, in that human beings, there could be our family members also. So we need to take care of them. We need to provide them whatever they need as per time, place, circumstance. So that is there. Just like we take care of our family members, we need to take care of the guests. Just like we take care of the guests, we need to take care of the other living entities, other human beings who do not know proper direction. Give them direction, give them employment, give them, feed them, and take care of them so that they will not do sinful activities. So this is called as Dhru Yajna. Now the question is, why we should do? Why Bhuta Yajna? Why Dhru Yajna? Of course, before getting into other three, simple. For our survival, we take so much help from them. We take so many things from them. So it is our responsibility to reciprocate. Otherwise, we become thieves. Because we depend upon them in so many ways, we also help them in whichever way we can help. For example, animals, the cows, bulls, buffaloes, or you helped in agriculture and other things. The dogs, So they may maintain, they may help when thieves are coming, they may bark and they notify the owners, something like that. The birds, they will help in cross pollination in the growth of the food grains, etc., etc., etc. The forest animals, they maintain the forest quantity, and the snakes and rats and other things maintain the agricultural fields sanctity. So like that. So every animal has something to contribute in some way, directly or indirectly, for our survival. Because we are surviving by their contribution. So, and we should also contribute to their survival. That contribution is called as yajna. If a devotee is not receiving anything from any other animals, directly or indirectly, anything from other living entities, directly or indirectly, one no need to do Bhuta yajna or Nru yajna. Simple example for those who are living in Mumbai. Every day we are getting milk. We go to Sabji market, get vegetables. There, the people who are selling in the Sabji market, the people who are doing agriculture, the people who are doing transportation, they are all helping us directly or indirectly. So we may say we are paying, but paying is not complete. Right now we are paying, but when they are in need, we should help them also. So in that way, whichever way. So like that. In any case, we travel buses, trains, we take their help. So apparently, externally speaking, we may say that, okay, I'm paying for everything. Why should I have other excess responsibility? Of course, the payment, giving them payment is on the level of we can say. But helping them when they come to our home as a guest, serving them when they come to our home as a guest, and also helping them by the means of charities, etc., etc., they are helping our spiritual growth. As you remember, for Brahmanas, 3 activities are for survival and 3 activities for spiritual progress. So one of the 3 activities for spiritual progress is deity worship, studying the Vedas, and giving charity. So that is for spiritual progress. So doing them something more than paying is for spiritual progress. Paying is just giving and take. That is the balance there only. Further from that, neither we gain nor they gain anything. But if we do something more than that, we gain spiritual credits. So the yajna is meant to provide us the spiritual credits. So like that. Because we receive so many things from the bhutas, from the lower living entities, and we receive so many things from the human beings. Whether the human beings could be sinful people, could be civilized people, could be our family members, friends, and relatives. We owe to all of them. So taking care of them in a proper bona fide way is called as Dhru Yajna. So is a devotee excused from this? Or should be given concession to devotees? Devotees don't have to do any all these things because the devotee has become Krishna's servant, and it's Krishna who is taking care of him, not all the living entities. So he has nothing to do with all the living entities, nothing to do with all the human beings. Like that, can we say? Hare Krishna.
No, Prabhuji, definitely not.
So
Yes.
that's why all these are expected to be done while we are in the position where we can do, where we have the ability to do. So we should do. So in that way. So now, what are the 5 yajnas which are mentioned, which are indirectly mentioned in the previous verse?
Prabhuji, Prabhuji, what was that yajna then Lord Krishna used to perform in every mahal?
Wait. We are done. We are not done. We are not done. Please wait.
Okay.
So what are those 5 yajnas? They are mentioned in this verse now. Devan Rushindru Bhutani.
Devan Rishindra Bhutani,
Pitrun Atmana Manvaham.
Pitrun Atmanamanvaham,
Swavrutyagata Vittena.
Svrityagata Vittena,
Yajeta Purusham Prutak.
Yajeta Purusham Prathak. Every day, one should worship the Supreme Being who is situated in everyone's heart. And on the basis of and on this basis, one should separately worship the demigods, the saintly persons, ordinary human beings, and living entities, one's forefathers and one's self. In this way, one is able to worship the Supreme Being in the core of everyone's heart.
Daily, one should worship the devatas, that is Deva Yajna. One should worship the rishis, Rishi Yajna. All human beings, Dhru Yajna. All other lower living entities, Bhuta Yajna. One's own forefathers, the Pitru Yajna, and oneself. And also, separately, the Supreme Lord. Serving the Supreme Lord means serving the deity. In our home, we have deity. Serve the deity. And also serve all these five people. Also serve oneself. Serve oneself means take care of oneself. Basically, serving somebody means taking care of them. Like we say that we are doing deity worship. We are serving the deities. Means what? We are treating deities also as part of our family, as our family members, and we are taking care of them. We are bathing them occasionally, we are dressing them occasionally, we are feeding them daily 3 times. That means we are also treating them as a person in our family. So just like they are a person in our family, we are treating them, we are taking care of them very nicely by providing whatever they need. Similarly, take care of all these people. Take care of devatas, take care of rishis, take care of humans, take care of all living entities, take care of the pitrus, and take care of oneself. How? However way it should be done. Because everything cannot be same. Everything is a unique way of taking care of them. Like Bhuta, forest animals, you don't have to go personally. You just allow them to live in the forest. Don't destroy the forest. That's all. And village animals, whatever excess food is there, feed them. That's all. Don't allow them to starve. They also have a right to live. When they are living in the village, the dogs and all, they bark when thieves will come. They notify you. They act like gatekeepers. So in that way, at least in a good sense. And allow them whatever they need. If they are next to us, and feed them whatever possible. So like that. And Dhru Yajna, Visa, Aditi Deva Bhava. Civilized people take care of them, family members anyway we take care of them. And also other uncivilized people, help them, guide them to do things in a proper way. That is Dhru Yajna. So like that. How to do all these things? By wealth earned through one's occupation. Swavruttaya agata vittena. Not by the money cheated or robbed from others. Whatever wealth we earn by bona fide honest means, that wealth should be used to worship the devatas, rishis, humans, all living entities, the pitrus, and take care of oneself, and also take care of the deities in the home, and also temple, whichever way. Serving the Lord in one's own deities or temple or whichever way. So initially there are 5, adding oneself and also Supreme Lord, total 7 yajnas we should be doing every day without fail. How? By the wealth which is earned through honest means. Swavruttena, not somebody else's wealth. If we do all these yajnas by our own wealth, we get the benefit. If we do these yajnas by somebody else's wealth, they will get the benefit. We may do in between, we may become an instrument, but since the wealth belongs to somebody else, so they will get the benefit. Because it is their hard-earned wealth, so they will get the benefit. They deserve to get the benefit. So like that. Now, we have already seen 2 yajnas. Other 3 yajnas, let us see now. Erhi Atmano Adhikaradya.
Yarhi Atmano Adhikaradya
Sarvasyuryajna Sampadaha.
Sarvasyuryajna Sampada
Vaitanikeena Vidina.
Vaitanikeena Vidhina
Agnihotradina Yajet.
Agnihotradina Yajet. When one is enriched with wealth and knowledge, which are under his full control, and by means of which he can perform yajna or please the Supreme Personality of Godhead. One must perform sacrifices, offering oblations to the fire, according to the directions of the Shastras. In this way, one should worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
When one has the capacity for gathering all items, one should perform sacrifice according to the rules with offerings. So now previously, in order to take care of the Bhuta Yajna and Dhru Yajna, that is like, that may not need so much extra excess wealth. So forest animals, allow them to live in the forest, and village animals, whatever you eat, after you eat, if something is remaining, give them. Otherwise, if you want to give, you eat little less and give them. You eat 80%, 20%, give the animals. So that is all manageable. Even occasionally when guest comes home, we can take care of them. That is also manageable. But if one has enough wealth, where one can collect all the ingredients to perform yajna, the real fire sacrifice, then one should do. That is called Deva Yajna. The actual fire sacrifice which Mataji is asking about, what Krishna used to do, etc. That is Deva Yajna. Every day, as a responsibility of Gurasthai is that they should perform Deva Yajna and also Pitru Yajna. Pitru Yajna means not our ancestors. Pitru Yajna means the original Pitru Devatas. Among them, our ancestors may be there, may not be there. But there is a proper Pitru Yajna, just like we worship Devatas, Idam Indraya Svedam Nama, like same way, Idam Pitraya Nama, Idam Nama. Like that, there is also one Yagra that can be performed. All these yajnas should be performed every day. Especially the Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, every day morning without fail they should be doing. If they are Brahmana initiated, Upanayana ceremony is done, they should be doing these yajnas without fail every day. Because when they go to Gurukul, they'll be given training in that. We read about all these things in the beginning chapters, in the previous chapters. So this yajna is called Deva Yajna. But who should do Deva Yajna? Who can do Deva Yajna, they should do. In spite of having all the facilities, if they don't do, they are called thieves. So like that. Now there could be one question. Now we are already devotees and we read from Bhagavatam that pouring water to the roots and we pour water to the branches, peaks, everything, etc. So we don't have to do all these things. So one may say that. So right now I don't want to give any judgments, but whenever possible, if one has the ability, so one should also do actual Deva Yajna also. Under some connecting to some circumstances, some rituals which one performs occasionally, club to them and do it. So it is not a problem. Now, then none of the devotees are doing, we should do it or not. The one simple answer which I understood is, if one is too busy performing bhakti activities, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Archanam, Vandanam, etc., and one does not have any time to do any other things, then one can be given excuse only if that person is feeling regret that I am sorry, I am not able to do all these things. Please don't mind that I am busy with worshipping Supreme Lord. Like that, one should be begging forgiveness from Devatas. Then one can have an allowance of not performing. But if one has ability, if one has time, still in the name of being a devotee, one does not do, that means one is not doing one's duty. So like that. So this is about Deva Yajna. Nahi Agni Mukatoyam Vai.
Nahi agni mukhato yam vai.
Bhagavan Sarva Yajna Bhuk.
Bhagavan sarva yajna bhuk.
Ijjeta Visharajan.
Ijjeta havisha rajan.
Yata Vipramuke Hutai.
Yatha vipra mukhe hutai. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, is the enjoyer of sacrificial offerings. Yet, although his lordship eats the oblations offered in the fire, my dear king, he is still more satisfied when nice food made of grains and ghee is offered to him through the mouths of the qualified brahmanas.
Now here one point is being mentioned by Nardamani. Yes, as part of Grihastha Dharma, the yajna, the Deva yajna should be performed, worshipping the devatas through the means of yajna. Yes, that is there. But better than that is taking care of devotees. Here, when one should do Deva yajna, when one has the capacity for gathering all the items. So when one has the capacity, one should do. If one does not have capacity, one may not do. That is okay. But if one has capacity to perform yajna, obviously one has the capacity to take care of the devotees who have dedicated their life for practicing bhakti. Here, when we say, here we should say Ananya Bhaktas, who are 24/7 engaged in Ananya Bhakti, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Archanam, Mandanam, Dasam, etc. They don't even worried about their own maintenance. Such kind of devotee should be taken care by these grihasthas who have the ability, capacity to perform Deva Yajna. In that time, they may avoid performing Deva Yajna, utilize all the facilities in taking care of these Ananya Bhaktas. Or also, even if somebody may be sannyasis, somebody may be brahmacharis. So when some sannyasis come for begging, so one should offer better way. And brahmacharis come for begging, they should be offered better way so that they can happily, without any disturbance, they can study and sannyasis can do their sadhana. So in that way, serving the devotees means this one, taking care of brahmacharis, vanaprastha, sannyasis. Of course, vanaprastha does not beg from anybody, but sannyasis and brahmacharis, take care of them. Or even if somebody is grihastha but does not have any way of maintaining themselves, such kind of grihasthas also should be taken care. So like that. The Supreme Lord, enjoyer of all sacrifices, is not worshipped by offering to the fires as much as he is worshipped by offerings to the mouths of the Brahmanas. Brahmana means Brahma Janati is Brahmana. Brahmana means those are the path of Brahman. Those who are on the path of going back home, back to Godhead. Only such person is called as a Brahmana. So such kind of people, because they've already made up their mind to go back home, back to Godhead, instead of seeing them busy, working hard for their maintenance, somebody else, if they maintain their bodily requirement, and these people can practice bhakti 24/7 without any issues. So that when one had the capacity for gathering all the items for Deva Yajna, all these items can be used to serve such Ananya Bhaktas. So this is better compared to this. If one has capacity to do Deva Yajna, also one has capacity to take care of the devotees, then one should do both. So like that.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Mataji.
Prabhuji, there is some confusion regarding, like you discussed now that actually whenever the facility is there, one can do both the Deva Yajna also like that. So, Prabhuji, if someone does like that in the devotee field, he will be considered as, worshipping the devatas. And what is the need of doing that like that? And every now and then, as a devotee, we always get to hear this, that just do the service of the Lord and of the devotees, and that is enough, like that. So,
Okay,
in that perspective,
wait, Mataji. So serving the devotees, you said. Now, in which category the devatas fall in?
yeah, they do fall in the as a servants of the Lord, as a exalted
No.
servants of the Lord.
Are they fall in the category of devotees or non-devotees?
Of course, devotees.
Then take care of them.
Then why it is said, Prabhuji, always in the scriptures that Devata worship is not required. And it is always said that it is not that we should disrespect them or insult them. We should definitely respect them. But to go out of the
No,
way
that
and
is not
serve them, that is
discouraged.
not required.
Mataji, no, wait. Don't come to such conclusions. The Devata worship is discouraged when it is done with the intention to go to Swarga. For a person who has the intention to go back to Godhead. Worship of Devatas is discouraged if you are doing it for fulfilling some material blessings or going to Swarga. Such kind of things are not recommended for a devotee. That's why they are said not to do such kind of things. But here, this when you say yajna means yajna is not a ritual. Yajna is a responsibility. What we say japa yajna. When we do japa, why are we doing japa?
To
Because
please
it
the
is
Lord.
recommended for Kali Yuga.
Okay, recommended for Kali Yuga for whom? It is not recommended for Kali Yuga.
As a yajna.
It is recommended for the devotees who want to attain perfection in Kali Yuga. Of course, in that way Kali Yuga only. I just want to make the sentence complete. Japa yajna is recommended for those who want to become devotees in Kali Yuga. That is a sadhana for devotees. For some other sadhakas, some other process is recommended. For Karma Yogi, something else is recommended. For Jnana Yogi, something else is recommended. For Ashtanga Yogi, something else is recommended. For devotee, for Bhakti Yogi, Japa Yajna, Shravanam, Kirtanam, and Smaranam are recommended. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, Archanam. These four are main things. All these four are recommended. They are sadhana. That becomes the duty. Their first duty. Because they want to be the devotees, they want to go back to that has become their duty. Same way.
Prabhuji,
Wait, let me complete this one sentence.
Yes.
Same way, if one is a grihastha, if they want to call themselves as a grihastha, they are supposed to do these 5 duties. Otherwise, they don't have any right to call themselves as grihastha. Because a grihastha receives so many things from the society, from the nature, from devatas, sunlight, moonlight, all these things we are receiving every day, rain, wind, so many things. So we need to express our gratitude to them. So for that, we need to perform this yajna. And now, this yajna is only an expression of gratitude. This yajna is not performed with the intention to get a good, beautiful looking son and great wealth and become the world number one wealthiest person or going to Pitrulokas or not for that purpose. Sacrifice means, so my dear sir, everything is given by you. I'm utilizing for my own survival and rest all is meant for you. Please take it. It is given by you. It is actually meant for you. I only need this much. You have given me 1,000 rupees. I only need 100 rupees for my survival. Next 900 is for you. But how they will take? Their way of taking it through yajna. Whatever excess we have, it is not ours. It is actually theirs. So we have to give them back. How we give them back? Performing yajna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji.
Prabhuji, deity worship means which gods do we have to worship? The Panchopasana, those 5?
No. See, wait. Again, the same problem. We have already decided that we want to be Vaishnavas. So we worship Vishnu only. The Panchopasana will be done by other people who want to be Jnana Yogis or Ashtanga Yogis or Karma Yogis. For them, that is recommended. They will do worship of these 5 important people among all the deities.
In which devtas are we expected to worship?
No, yajna is a specific procedure. Na? There we don't have to search for which devata to worship and all. The yajna mantras are there, whatever mantras are being read, and that way the worship of all the devatas is done. There, we can't say that, oh, Deva Yajna means, okay, Surya ke liye one Yajna is there, Chandra ke liye one separate, not like that. In every
No, I was
Yajna, all the
talking
devatas
about
are worshipped. All the principal
deity
devata,
worship.
33 devatas are worshipped.
No, this deity worship which is mentioned, one should perform deity worship, worshipping the devtas. So
Okay,
that is
that
through
is
your
Srila Prabhupada's way of writing the deity worship. But here, basically, it is Yajna.
okay, deity worship through yajna.
No, Srila Prabhupada is writing it as a deity worship, but actually the shloka is talking about Yajna only. Deva Yajna. Deity worship comes under the category of Upasana.
Mm-hmm.
Ah.
Yes. Okay. So one yajna to be performed for all the devtas.
I don't know because I never directly perform any yajna, but in general it is there. In yajna, I heard all the mantras. So there are mantras specifically for every principal devata. For every devata, there is a category. Vishwadevas, Sadhyas, Marus, Agni Devatas, Adityas, Vasus, like that, different category devatas are there. For all of them, the offerings are made. And the notable devatas, like important devatas, like Indra, Chandra, Varuna, Vayu, Surya, and Shiva, Brahma, etc., they are offered personally by chanting their individual names. So like that. That's why I'm saying now, when the yajna should be performed, when there is a naimitika karma, when there is occasional duties are there, na, that time yajna can be done. We do actually, it is not that we don't do. When you do marriage, you do yajna. When you do housewarming ceremony, you do yajna. When you do name giving ceremony, we are supposed to do yajna. We may not do many times, but we should do. Any samskara that we perform in the home, every samskara should be accompanied by yajna. What to speak of that? Even in the temple, every tithi that we do, yajna is being done behind the doors. Abhishek will be done. After the Abhishek, immediately yajna will be performed to the deities. Even in our Vaishnavism, in every festival like Janmashtami, Ramnavami, Gaur Purnima, Narsin Chaturthi, after the Abhishek is done, immediately the yajna will be done inside the Garbhagriha. So yajna is an integral part of everything that we do. It is not a condemned activity. There we do, even in our home also, at least for our housewarming ceremony, we do yajna. For marriage ceremony, we do yajna. So like that, the yajna should be done for every samskara. We have Shoda samskaras. For all the samskaras, yajna should be done. Even I saw that Brahmana family, even for Antyeshti also they perform yajna. 2 days they perform two different yajnas. Even for death ceremony also yajna can be done. Then what to speak of the other auspicious ceremonies, yajna cannot be performed. How can we say? So at least on those circumstances, we should be doing Deva Yajna properly, bona fide way. Not that one has to do every day by default. Actually, it is recommended. If one is trained, one should do. If it is not trained, at least one should do occasionally. And beg them. So, my dear Devatas, please forgive me, forgive us that we could not do regularly. So, whatever way we are doing once in a while, please accept it and be satisfied with that. So, like that. Because they are also Vaishnavas, they are also helping us so many ways. Actually, they are the most helpers. They are the most frequent and most long time period helpers to us. And we are not doing anything for them. So like that. Yajna
Hare
means
Krishna, Prabhuji.
expression of our gratitude. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Prabhuji, you mentioned that the demigod worship should not be done with the intention of getting material benefits. But for expressing our gratitude, one can always worship the devatas like that, na? But
Yes.
it is always said, na Prabhuji, that when one is worshipping the Supreme Lord, who is also worshipped by these demigods, they automatically get satisfied by that, and there is no separate endeavors needed to satisfy them.
See,
So
again,
how to
you are mixing both the things. I am not talking about deity worship.
No,
I am
deity
talking
worship.
about
I'm not
yajna.
saying deity. No, Prabhuji, I'm not saying about deity worship.
No,
What
when you
I
say worship,
understood is
worship means deity worship.
no. Worship means Prabhuji for expressing gratitude. Something we will be doing. Now means either the yajna or whatever. That way only I'm talking. So whether it is really needed that somebody like all that for the devotees perspective, every devotee is doing japa yajna every day to
No,
satisfy
Mataji,
the
it's
Lord.
okay. See, again, don't combine both the things. Again, why again same question comes? We are
Because
doing
there is a
japa
lot of
yajna because that
confusion.
is our sadhana. That is the sadhana of a devotee, bhakti yogi. Performing yajna is the duty of a householder. Are you
So
getting?
those household who are devotees, they are
So what?
supposed to
So what?
perform
So
both
what? So what?
because they are devotee also and they are grihastha also.
Then they should
Like
do
that.
more, all the more.
One thing is what you mentioned while talking to Shwetganga Mataji was yes that every day you need not perform, but when on special occasions we perform yajna, that time we should offer oblations to the demigods to express our gratitude. But that what we say repentance aspect you were saying now that we should be worshipping or we should be praying to them that
Okay,
I'm
okay.
not
Now
able to.
one simple thing I'll tell you. Do our parents have given us so much time, energy, and so many things to take care of us for our upbringing?
Yes.
Okay. Then we have grown up and now we have become devotees and we are chanting Hare Krishna mantra. And we can say that, can we say that I don't have to take care of my parents? Because now I have become devotee, I will only serve Lord Krishna, Lord Krishna's deities, Radha Krishna deities. I will not look after my parents. Can we say that?
No. No.
Why? Why? डेटी वर्शिप का हो ना वो सब क्यों करने का चैंटिंग करो बस उसको क्यों करने का
Because that is our responsibility, na Prabhuji. Whatever is needed as
same
per
thing
the
I'm trying to bring in. Just like we have responsibility towards our parents, we have responsibility towards the devatas also. In fact, we are receiving more from the devatas than what we receive from our parents.
Yes.
Then, and we don't want to serve the devatas but serve parents.
That means what exactly we should be doing, Prabhuji, as a devotee for towards Devata to express the gratitude. What exactly we are supposed to do practically?
I mean, वही हम पढ़ रहे हैं ना मैं क्या बोला और क्या क्या बोलूं whatever else
No,
what else
means
I can
this
do.
yajna, what you are explaining that as a devotee also we are
The
supposed
problem
to
is
do at
that
home.
whether we are devotees or before becoming devotees, we never had the culture of taking part in the yajna. We are never seen and participated in that. That's why it became a foreign thing for us. We just check with somebody who is born in Sri Vaishnava families. They have great attachment to do all these things. Not as a ritual, it is also part of their sadhana. Same thing, if we have read Bhagavad Gita clearly, we will never get such kind of doubts. Yajna can be performed in the mode of goodness. Yajna can be performed in the mode of passion. Yajna can be performed in the mode of ignorance. Same way, yajna can be performed in the mode of pure goodness also. The yajna in the mode of pure goodness is Bhakti yajna. The yajna in the mode of goodness could be, so my dear Devatas, I am performing this yajna so that I will get place in Swarga. The yajna in the mode of passion could be, oh my dear Devatas, I am performing this yajna to get a son, to get wealth, to get job, to remove this obstacle, this problem, that disease, this witchcraft, see all these things are there, remove all these things. That could be like in the mode of passion. And yajna in the mode of ignorance, वो मरना चाहिए उनका पूरा उनका जीवन बर्बाद होना चाहिए so like that किसी और को हार्म करने के लिए परफॉर्म करने वाला यज्ञ तांत्रिक यज्ञ यज्ञ is a process, is a means, but with what intention, for what purpose we are doing changes its outlook completely.
Yes, Prabhuji, like in G, we also have seen that daily that Yajna is there, where
They are
daily
performed
the
yajna every
Yajna
day.
is performed. That
Ah.
I have seen. But like my difficulty is, Prabhuji, that as a practicing devotee, what exactly like are we also supposed to perform some kind of a yajna daily like this to express our
See, wait,
gratitude
wait,
or
wait,
how?
wait, wait, wait again. See, I'm not insisting upon you. I'm just want to take out that one thought from all of our mind. Now I have become devotee. I don't have to do anything. I'm carefree. That is the kind of thought we have developed from the very beginning after we came to ISKCON. I just want to take out that. There are two things. If you remember what we have studied from the beginning, you will not have this question. What we have studied? If somebody is born in the family of Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, after Upanayana ceremony, they will be sent to Gurukul and they will be taught how to perform yajna. In the Gurukul, the students from Dvija, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya category are taught how to perform yajna. When they come home, for the entire life they perform yajna. If you read Ramayana or Mahabharata, the Pandavas and Lord Rama used to do yajna every day without fail, early in the morning. Just like in the Kali Yuga, we want to become devotees and we have been initiated by our spiritual masters to chant 16 rounds every day. That is our yajna. So, as a Vaishnava custom, we have been initiated in Harinama Diksha and we are religiously doing Japa Yajna every day. But as a cultural system, as part of Sanatana Dharma, if we had gone through Upanayana ceremony, if we had gone through Gurukul and studied under Guru, if the Guru had taught us how to perform Yajna, we would have performed Yajna. But we have never gone to the traditional cultural educational system. We don't know all these things. But all these things looks to be very foreign. But actually, these are very essential things. Basically, I have received so much from you. I owe to you. This is a small tiny things I am doing in reciprocation. That is yajna. And in the modern education, we are very well taught that you only deserve to take from others. You don't have to do anything in return. That is the essence of modern education. Exploit, 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 usurp, usurp, usurp. The more you usurp, the more you are intellectual person. That is the way the modern world has been educating us. That's why when we hear all these things, why do we need to do all these things? Especially nowadays, now, when we go out for asking for some charity, some temple construction is there, this, that, etc., etc. So some many people think that okay, why should I do all these things? What is the need of this temple? Who will go to temple? Who will do all these things? Why? The first comes why? Because for a spiritual practitioner, sadhana is their charity, is their sadhana. As we read, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, they should do three things for their spiritual progress. What are the three things? Reading Shastra, performing yajna, and giving charity. They should be searching for the way avenue where they can give charity if they want to spiritual progress.
Yeah.
Because we never trained in the proper way, we don't know. Always the question comes, why? Why should I do all these things? If a grasta person is so involved in bhakti activities, he does not have any time to do any of these six yajnas, then okay. If you don't have any time to do all these things because of bhakti activities, then you are excused. Not because of worldly activities. That's why Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna, Sarvadharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja. Having surrendered to me, becoming busy by performing bhakti activities, we are not able to do all these five yajnas as a grasta. That is a great sin. And Lord says, if you really do Ananya Bhakti and you feel regret that you are not able to do other things, then I will take care of them. Don't worry. Masuchaha. There when Lord
Yes,
Krishna says
sir.
Sarvadharman Parityaja, that Sarvadharman are these things. Deva Yajna, Rishi Yajna, Nru Yajna, Bhuta Yajna, Pitru Yajna. So like that, all these things.
Yes,
There are total
Prabhuji.
7. Finally, there is the Supreme Lord service also. This is also Bhagavad Yajna, we can say. For the sake of Bhagavad Yajna, if you are so busy in this, so we can slowly give them up. But if we are not busy in this, in the name of this, we don't do any of these things. So we are neither performing this properly nor performing this properly, and we are running in all respects.
Prabhuji, you always explain that all whatever we discuss, this is for Ananya Bhakta, this is for Ananya Bhakta. But then, like for the sadhakas who are trying very hard to become Ananya Bhakta, but they have not yet become Ananya Bhakta. So during the process of becoming that, are we supposed to follow all these things, both the things? Because
whether you become, you want to become, if you are so busy, you don't have any time to do anything else, then okay. In spite of having time and other things, if we don't do, then we are held responsible for not doing.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
One second, Mata, just to complete the same point, because this example we may connect it. In the name of that, we are devotees. If we neglect taking care of our parents, we are held responsible for that. But in the name of devotional services, if one takes to sannyas, then one is excused the responsibility of taking care of parents.
yes.
Not in the name. For the sake of devotional service, if one takes on to sannyasa, then one is no more responsible to take care of the parents if parents are still alive. And no more responsible to take care of the wife and children. Anyway, wife and children are alive. Because there one is completely dedicating oneself to do devotional service as a sannyas ashram. Then one is excused. Like that, even for the yajnas also, one is excused if one becomes that busy.
Okay, means the congregation member coming to the temple, they are serving in the temple, they are all the time busy. So for them, or even at home level also, if somebody is doing that much service, then it is excused like that. Yeah. Correct, na, probably.
Okay, tentatively correct, not absolutely correct.
No, if I'm wrong, you correct me, Prabhuji. That is why I again repeated that whatever I understood, whether I have understood it in a right
See,
perspective.
again, you are trying to see from the point of view devotee alone. I am trying to generalize it for any sadhaka. So, for devotees, you may say, okay, they have a lot of deity service in the temple, but not every day. Every day they will not have. Even if required, some deva yajna, if you want to do one day, you may take off. No problem. What is the problem? Somebody else will do that deity worship in the temple. Because that you are doing only once in a year, not every day. This anyway you are doing all the 365 days.
Okay, so at least sometimes once in a year, once in a month, 6 months, whenever possible, we should be doing
That's
that.
what I'm saying.
That's
Occasionally, whenever there is samskara being supposed to be done, that time you do. It's not that you have to do every day. If you are trained to do every day, then do it.
Okay.
If somebody is born in Brahmana family, they will be trained to do yajna. So such kind of people do everyday yajna.
Okay. So I think Sri Vaishnavas and all, they also have that as a part of their sadhana, no?
They do every day because they are trained in the childhood. They will do. हम लोग क्या स्कूल में भेजा गया, स्कूल में किसके लिए भेजा गया, दूसरा लोगों को कैसे टुकड़ा करने का, how to cheat others. That is what we are trained. So we are getting trained in that. We are becoming expert in that.
Yes.
That is the problem with us. We never had a proper training. And now we ask so many questions. Why this, why that?
बिकॉज वो भक्ति के प्रिंसिपल्स इतना इनग्रेन किए ना प्रभु जी ब्रेन में कि फिर अभी वो
See, that
to
is
make
at
the
the at the
space for
at the day
something else.
at the day one, in order to help you to start bhakti, okay, बाकी करने को सब मत करो, भक्ति करो. So when you start practicing bhakti, in order to maintain our bhakti and also perform our prescribed duties, all these things we should do. Performing yajna is a prescribed duty, just like taking care of the parents. We cannot say that now I have become devotee, I am freed from taking care of the parents. That we don't have. Unless until you are sannyasi, you cannot say that point. Just like we have responsibility to take care of the parents who helped us in our upbringing. Same way, we have the responsibility to take care of the bhutas. And also, we still now we saw bhutas and the nru, other human beings. And also devatas, rishis, and pitrus. All these people have so much contribution for our upbringing, our sustenance, and our future life also. So should we express our gratitude to them or not?
Yes, definitely, Prabhu. This is very
We are not
nice
so
point.
busy. We are not so busy that we don't have any time.
Of course.
We have so much time to browse the mobile.
Yes, please.
Uh,
Actually, this is a very nice point because being a devotee, we never thought this way. And what you mentioned is very correct that anytime we never felt like expressing our gratitude to those devotees of the Lord who are functioning as demigods and who are actually helping us and providing us so many things. So, at least today's class has developed that, that angle, that gratitude in the mind that yes, we should be looking from that point. Yes, thank you so much.
but at the same time, see, Bhagavatam also very interesting. See, Devayajna we should do. But when there are two options in front of us, one is Devayajna, other one is taking care of such Ananya Bhaktas, or some selfless renounced people, sadhakas, who dedicate their life to practice their sadhana, and we need to take care of their maintenance so that they can do their sadhana properly. So if we have limited facilities, use those facilities instead of doing yajna to take care of that sadhakas, whether it is devotees or any other sadhakas. If we have more than that, after taking care of them, if we have more, then do deva yajna. So like that, though it is a compulsory rule, still Bhagavatam gives a concession. That is the beauty of
Yes,
Srimad
sir.
Bhagavatam.
And actually, means in our where we are grown up, like such an institutional setup of ISKCON, actually such opportunities will always be there to help the other devotees, and never will be there, sufficient thing. Whatever we can do, still there will be more needs are always there. So, but at least we can have this intense gratitude for the demigods for whatever they are doing to us, that at least should be developed in the mind.
Yeah, it's like that. Even while doing that, we should say to the gods, devatas. So, my dear devatas, all these leaders are meant for your worship, but somehow or other, currently these people are in more need, greater need, and your name I am feeding them. Please accept through them, so that the needy are fed and devatas are also fed. Both are accomplished.
Yes.
Instead of saying that you devatas don't deserve anything, why should I do all these things? So I do them for them, or not like that. So that should not be the outlook. So
Yes,
1 second.
sir.
Correction. 5 minutes. Position. So like that. So already 8:30 I did not notice. We'll just do this 18th verse and this section will be completed, and we'll continue next week. So here says that one should not be too attached to performing sacrifices. At the same time, it should not become like nemagraha. मेरा पेरेंट्स ने सिखाया मुझे यज्ञ करने का, यज्ञ ही करने का, यज्ञ ही करने का, not like that. यज्ञ करना इंपॉर्टेंट ड्यूटी है और उसके इंपॉर्टेंट और कुछ है तो इसको साइड में रख सकते हैं. So therefore, one should not be too attached to performing sacrifices. The Lord is not worshipped as much by offerings to the mouths of the fire as he is worshipped by offerings to food to the mouths of the Brahmana. Here, Deva Yajna is done and Rishi Yajna is also done. So one of the Rishi Yajna is such kind of Brahmana, such kind of Rishi, such kind of devotee sadhus. If they are taken care, if they are provided the basic necessities, they can practice sadhana nicely and they can inspire the greater society. In that way, we are doing Deva Yajna, we are doing Rishi Yajna, we are also doing Ru Yajna. That will become a Ru Yajna for all the other living entities also. We may not directly preach them. So we help those who are preaching, and that is as good as we are preaching. So like that. Tasmat Brahmana Deveshu
तस्माद् ब्राह्मणदेवेषु
Martyadishu Yatarhata
मर्त्यादिषु यथार्हता
Teiste Kamer Ejasvainam
तैस्तैकामैर्यजस्वैनं
Kshetrajnam Brahmanan Anu.
क्षेत्रज्ञं ब्राह्मणान् अनु.
So here,
Therefore,
Narada Muni is saying, I will read. Narada Muni is saying,
okay.
worship the Supreme Lord, the knower of the field, Kshetrajna, ultimate Kshetrajna, according to one's ability. Yata Arhanam. Again, Narada Muni is very clear. One should worship the Supreme Lord according to one's ability, to the best of possibility, by offering various objects to Brahmanas who are Devatas and then to ordinary humans. So, when Narada Muni is saying that worship the Supreme Lord, the knower of the field, according to one's ability, by offering various objects, not only to the deity, of course, one may take care of the deity in one's home. At the same time, one should also take care of the devotees and Brahmanas who are outside and the Devatas who are helping in every respect, and also to ordinary human beings who are also helping us in different ways, and also the what was that? Bhuta Yajna, other living entities. So one should be doing all these things. So one should not simply say that no, I'm taking care of my deities in my home. I don't have to do anything else for anybody else. No. Serving all these people are also serving the deity. It is called Deva Yajna and Rishi Yajna. Taking care of the Brahmanas is Rishi Yajna, taking care of Devatas is called Deva Yajna, taking care of other living entities is called Ru Yajna, other human beings New Yajna, taking care of other living entities Bhuta Yajna, in that way. Worship the Supreme Lord, knower of the field, by offering foods to the Brahmana who are Devatas, and after the Brahmanas to other humans. Now here you see, everything will be done. We prepare Bhoga, offer to the deities. Deity worship is done. We accept ourselves little prasadam, our service is done. And we offer some prasadam to the Brahmanas, Rishi Yajna is done. And before that, we may offer some prasad to the Devatas, Deva Yajna is done. And then we offer the remaining food to the people, other human beings. If some guests come, we serve them. If some other people are there, we can feed them. Even if we feed dogs, cats, etc., the Bhuta Yajna is also performed. In one sense, everything is integrated. Even whether we do deity worship or whether we do yajna, everything is integrated. In these things, everyone is served. The Lord Vishnu is served, and Devatas are served, Rishis are served, Brahmanas are served, other human beings, guests, friends, relatives are served, and servants are served, and also the dogs, cats, and other living entities are also served. Everyone is served. All these things we do, they are actually integral parts. They are integrating everything. Another version has Brahmananam, the Lord who has mouth of the Brahmanas. So like that. So in this way, See, when we see them separately, they seems to be independent, but actually they are all together. In any yajna that we do, there may be worship of devatas in the form of offering oblations to Indra, Chandra, Varuna, Vayu, but everything begins by offering oblations to Lord Vishnu. First two oblation will be offered to Vishnu, then also to the devatas. So basically, we are offering Mahaprasad to devatas. Because we are familiar with deity worship, we get to see deity worship every day. We generally have favoritism toward deity worship. But yajna is also one kind of deity worship only. There also we worship the deities, our Ishtadev and Lord Vishnu, and then we worship Brahma, Shiva, and other devatas. It is not that we only worship devatas in the yajna. Our worship begins with Vishnu, and also it concludes with Vishnu worship. So yajna is no way a karmakanda ritual. Yajna can become karmakanda ritual if we perform it for personal benefit. That yajna, if it is performed for the personal material benefit, then it can be called as karmakanda. If it is performed to Mahamothers, it becomes tantra. But if it is performed as a gratitude, it becomes bhakti. That's why Treta Yuga yajna itself is the process. If yajna is the karmakanda process, how can it become a sadhana for Treta Yuga people to come back to Godhead? Because yajna is a process. It can be performed in any mode. If it is performed in the Shuddha Sattva consciousness, it becomes sadhana for one spiritual progress. If yajna can be sadhana in Treta Yuga, why cannot it be sadhana in Kali Yuga? But unfortunately, in Kali Yuga, everyone cannot do, everyone does not have qualification, and it is not practical for everyone. So the recommended sadhana, and it will be difficult to do every day for everyone. So the thing which everyone can do every day is japa. So that's why japa is given as sadhana, Shravanam, Kirtanam. So in that way, we have to see. So I'm sorry. Today I've been saying so many things. Personally, I also don't do anything, but I'm teaching myself also. I'm helping all of us to understand. So there are few things we may look down, but we need to give due regard to all of them. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Prabhuji, because all these days we never gave this aspect any thought to express gratitude in some different way other than yajna to the devtas or to the rishis or to the bhutaptas.
Yeah.
So it was quite a revelation. Thank you very much.
Hare Hare. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna,
Hare-
Prabhuji. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much for joining. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, Hare
Krishna.
Krishna,
Hare
Dandavat
Prabhuji.
Pranam.
Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna. Prabhuji, Dandat Pranam. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.